Tonight's show, Joan Rivers calls Michelle Obama a transvestite, Obama gay. Now she's dead 2 months later at age 81.
Last night I heard this politician talking about his brand new mission. Liked his plans, but they came undone when he got around to guiding guns.
All right, folks, we got a special show tonight. I'm your host tonight, Steve Foster. I'm on Foster Brothers on Point. We're covering the Joan Rivers death. Today is September 4th, 2014. Breaking news today, Joan Rivers has died after a surgical procedure. It was a minor procedure she was having. She was been in a self-induced or medical-induced coma, and she's been on life support. Now she has passed. What's significant about this is Joan Rivers, it was in July, so roughly a month and a half, 2 months ago, she made a public statement about the Obama family, and it made national headlines. Joan Rivers called Michelle Obama a transvestite or a tranny, and Obama said that Obama's gay. Now, this is from a comedian. However, I think part of why it made national news the way it did was they were examining. She seemed to be dead serious when she said it. You know, she wasn't playing around. She, that was the only joke she said, supposedly. But a lot of people thought she wasn't maybe joking, and it led a lot of people to really investigate the possibility of Michelle Obama, if she really was a transvestite. If you go into YouTube now and just punch in Michelle Obama transvestite, what you're going to find is a lot of video evidence, photographic evidence, and a lot of information points that she could be. Now, I don't know. I don't know if Michelle O is, and I'm not claiming she is, but there's evidence to support there's a chance she might be. And with Joan Rivers being a celebrity, she might be in the know or running the right circles to potentially leak something like that out. Now, she comes out and makes this radical statement, or what would be radical to the Obamas, and now she's dead a few months later. You just have to automatically throw the red flag up and say, okay, this might be suspicious. Now, what we're not saying is if this really did happen. What we're not saying is that someone did come in and interfere with her surgery or manipulated her situation in the hospital to where now she's dead. We don't know that. But we do know that some strange things have happened with people that have come out and been outspoken against the Obama family. And let's face it, Noveski, he's a famous rifle manufacturer. He made some statements, and he was well known, kind of a famous rifle maker, had a following, and he's gone now. Breitbart the same way. Breitbart was a very outspoken and was getting inside information that would probably be damning to the Obama administration. He was a key player in the Obama birth certificate controversy, which a lot of analysts say his birth certificate that the White House did produce is still considered a counterfeit. They're saying that they basically brought a blank birth certificate copy into Photoshop and dropped some font across it that was supposed to look like a typewriter text, and submitted that as Obama's birth certificate. Now, a lot of people would say, well, how can you really, determine that? Well, there's a whole forensic science background based on script, text, handwriting. There's a lot of CSI experts out there that do follow this sort of information. They follow font, and they said that the font was identical time and time again and didn't match what a typewriter should have produced back when Obama was born. So that's one of the key factors in that birth certificate case. Now, getting back to Joan Rivers, she really did come out, and it created quite the controversy. It was a negative press for President Obama. And let's just go ahead and listen to what I'm talking about. This is a YouTube video clip of her saying this, and it made national news. Here it is.
Miss Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I'm so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
a transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay.
So that's it, folks, and that is the incident that I'm talking about that put Joan Rivers on the hit list for the White House. She makes the statement in July 2014. She's in a coma by August 2014 and dead in the first week of September 2014. I'm not saying that they did it for sure. I'm just throwing it out there because everyone has to be aware of how corrupt the world is, how corrupt the United States government has done or have been. They've been involved in all sorts of scandals, including Benghazi, and they're covering it up left and right. They try to cover their tracks. They intimidate people that challenge them. You know, I've already ran down the list of Noveski and Breitbart, you know, that were publicly outspoken, were semi-celebrity or celebrity status and outspoken. Now they're dead. I don't know, folks. I guess that you have to judge for yourself or you have to investigate. This might be one of those that go down in the books that we'll never know. And this might not pick up much traction that, you know, she is dead a month and a half after making these statements. I would like to go ahead and play a clip our leader has said. Oh, here's Obama, and let's see what he has to say.
You didn't get there on your own. You didn't get there on your own. I'm always struck by people who think, well, it must be because I was just so smart. There are a lot of smart people out there.
And that's Obama talking about if you started a business or not. And yeah, I always find it funny. You know, he's saying you didn't start your business. You know, you didn't buy your car. The government gave it to you. You know, you don't do anything by yourself. You know, like when you get up and put on your clothes and brush your teeth and drive into work, you're not doing that. You didn't do that. I mean, come on, let's face it. You don't do anything. The government does everything for you. And that's what you need to realize is the government is God. And Obama believes this. He acts like he's God. You didn't create anything. You didn't do anything. And, you know, it's just disgusting where his administration has led this country. He's got the borders wide open. I keep seeing pictures come out where they keep sending reporters down to the border at Texas and Mexico, and it's wide open. They have their gates wide open, the big security gates that they could keep closed. They're just swinging wide open. Meanwhile, President Obama and other White House leaders are making statements that ISIS, the new Islamic terrorist group, formerly known as Al-Qaeda, he's saying that they might be coming and staging an attack and coming in and coming after a base in the United States or causing terrorist strikes in the United States, and they're going to enter from the southern border. This is the same administration that is advertising or indirectly advertising that you can come across the border and we're going to take care of you. When you get up there and you make public speeches and you say that amnesty's coming for the immigrants and, you know, immigrants are citizens of the world and we don't need to discriminate and that they're welcome to come over. You know, this is what the Democratic Party's been saying this year. You know, come on over. And, you know, a lot of conservatives are your business owners, are your capitalist-minded people, and they've realized that the government is throwing them under the bus. When you are able to bring in all these immigrants and you've started a business, let's say you have a landscape business. Let's say you make $100,000 a year, you got 5 people working for you. You built that. You know, you did do that. And then you get some immigrants that come in here and they'll work for less than minimum wage or at minimum wage because they have nothing to their name. They're willing to do anything. They'll come in and they'll do it and they'll work for overtime for free. And then next thing you know, you can't land a contract anymore. It's because of immigration. You know, there's a right and a wrong way of doing it. I think that we should allow people to come in, rich or poor. I think, though, that a lot of times it would be wise for us to consider if they're going to contribute to the society or if they're going to leech off the society. You know, I mean, if they're coming in with democratic ideals, they might be leeching. You know, think about most of the Democratic base, how they're probably the welfare class. They're the ones that are on food stamps. You know, they're the ones that are needy. You know, you take a conservative nation or reduce the liberalism mindset, and you'd probably have a strong economy again. You know, what I'm calling for in the next election cycle is we need more Republicans. We need more conservative-minded people, whether that's from the Libertarian Party or the Tea Party. That's what we need more of. Now, as far as Joan Rivers, she probably shouldn't open her mouth. That's the bottom line is, you know, when you speak out and you're a public figure and you speak out directly against what some people have already called a dictatorship. Now, it's not a full-blown dictatorship, but it has characteristics of a communist regime. When you speak out against stuff like that, you might want to watch your back. You might want to carry your gun on you, and you might be careful going under the knife of a surgeon because you never know how deep they can infiltrate. You never know. You just don't. You know, let's switch gears and talk a little bit about Breitbart. You know, here's a Infowars.com article. The only witness to the Breitbart death disappears. Following a suspected arsenic poisoning, and the forensic technician at Los Angeles County Coroner's Office was the only eyewitness to Breitbart's death, and now he's vanished. Christopher Lassiter last saw Breitbart drop dead like a sack of potatoes. And you know, it's funny, like this is one of the characteristics of what you keep seeing like on these suspicious scenarios is anyone that was associated will just disappear. It's like, let me speak to the people that work in the government, or if you work in what you think is a black operation. If you're going to go in and you think that you're a hot shot and you're going to take out Breitbart, or you are associated with something like this, you better watch your back too, because they're going to remove all the evidence, because you might change your mind 5 years from now and you might come forward and you might leak information. It's the new trend. People are leaking information left and right. If you're actively committing crimes against this nation, thinking that you're serving your country, you might want to think about it again, because they're probably going to come knocking on your door in the middle of the night because you won't be the high-profile hit. No one's going to be asking questions about you. You might have been a witness or associated. You know, that's all I'm saying is just be careful. If you're in the government and you're part of these organizations, or maybe, you know, you're part of the NSA and you're listening to us live right now, just be careful and monitor what you're actually doing, because if you cross that line, I'm not saying that someone like myself could you know, come after you. I'm saying that your own government, the people you work for, would come after you if they ever felt like you were a threat down the road. So, you know, once you get tangled up in that web of deceit and you get too deep in there, they might just let you go. And when they let you go, when you're messing around with that, sometimes it's like Joan Rivers, you know. Joan Rivers opened her mouth. She spoke what she believed. Maybe she had some evidence. You know, you never know. She might have known something, might have seen something, and she spoke her mind. Now, I don't think Obama's gay. I mean, I think that the way he acts is gay from the standpoint of you don't destroy a nation. You don't run for presidential office and take orders from people that are above you, or people from financial organizations, or a group of elite people that have declared themselves gods on this planet. Or you don't take your orders from Satan. Let's face it, you know, I think a lot of the problems in this nation comes down to the direct influence of Satan. Satan has a good grip. You know, Satan talks about how he had control of all the kingdoms and he offered them to Jesus Christ. You know, he offered the leadership, the kingdoms. You offer a kingdom when you own a kingdom, when you have control, possession. I might throw out a suggestion to say that Satan has gained control of this United States of America. And what you should do is you should think about how you can correct and bring this nation back to truth and honesty, integrity. And let's build this nation back up. And let's rout out all these snakes and all these cheaters and all these scumbags that are just up there messing it up for the rest of us. That's my broadcast for tonight. I appreciate you listening, and we'll catch you next time.
This politician talking about his brand new mission, liked his plans, but they came undone when he got around to God and guns. I don't know how he grew up, but it sure wasn't down at the hunting club, 'cause 'cause if it was, he'd understand just a little bit more about the working man. God and guns keep us strong.